Okay, so in today's video, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about law of assumption, and we're going to look at what you're actually doing, because there's so many people that say things like, we're manipulating the 3D, which all of us who watch this channel know that we're not. But I want to break it down a little bit more and just kind of talk about what we're actually doing, why we're consciously affirming, what is the point of it. Obviously, we know thoughts create, but just dive a little bit deeper into this fun topic. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss that. Hey everyone, it's Kim Velez, Conscious Life and Success Coach, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. I want to say hi to everyone. Happy fucking Friday, right? Have an amazing weekend as well. Before we dive in deep, I want to remind you that if you feel like you need additional support, I have so many different ways to work with me to really support you. You can go to my website, www.kimvelez.com. I have one-on-one coaching, I have email coaching, I have a group monthly coaching program, as well as a paid Facebook group. I also have, self-guided courses. I have how to manifest your SP back and keep them for good, as well as You Are the Prize, all about your self-concept and love. It is literally like a 28-day program. It's so fun. I've gotten nothing but amazing results from feedback. Anyone who takes my courses, something shifts in them and their 3D definitely starts shifting. And not because I'm like fucking magic, it's because they do what I say to do. And they have that support of me holding their hand in the process. So check it out if you're interested. I also have, for those of you that want to do some healing work, I have, Healing Your Inner Child, self-guided course as well. So there's just so many different ways and opportunities to really help you transform and give you the support that you need in this process if you feel like you need it. All right, so enough about all of that. Let's talk about this fun topic. So this is what we're doing, right? What's happening naturally with law of assumption is basically what you assume is what will be. So what does that even mean? Well, that means a couple different ways, but basically it comes down to this, like whatever's dominantly in your mind, whether it's subconscious or conscious, is what will continue to manifest. So when someone has a pattern in their life of things that they don't like, what you're doing is you're saying, okay, there's a natural assumption that I have that needs to be reprogrammed because it's constantly manifesting the same experience in this area of my life, which is not getting me the favorable outcome I want. And the programming most likely came from childhood, dysfunction, things like that, right? However it came to be, it's there. And you keep manifesting and creating realities where you're experiencing this pattern that isn't what you want, right? This is why people get stuck. People get stuck because they don't understand what's happening to them. They keep putting their blame outside. They don't take ownership for their thoughts, what's going on in their mind, how they see themselves in regards to, which is self-concept, right? How they see themselves in regards to their manifestation. Also, they're not looking at the story of, if they're manifesting an SP or getting involved in love, the story they're holding of that person, right? So this is the work to do. So what is that work? Well, that work is, since law of assumption, you already have a natural assumption that's programmed in you, because the bottom line, dominantly, most people, it's the same. It's, I don't feel good enough. I don't feel worthy enough, which is why people settle. Because why would you stay in something that doesn't feel good for you? Because you don't believe you can get better. You don't believe you're good enough. So you tolerate it. It's not because you love someone. That's the excuse we use, right? We all use the excuse, but I love them. That's why I stay. No, you stay because you don't believe you deserve better and you don't believe that you can manifest a better experience. So you just accept what is continually given, even if it's not what you want. So we have to look at this, right? Because this is how you break this pattern. This is how you start creating the version of you as well as the version of your relationship with whoever, someone new, someone old, doesn't matter, of what you want to experience. But you have to start being conscious of your story, right? So what we're doing is, when you're reaffirming, you're taking a natural assumption that you already have that says you don't get what you want, you're not loved, you're rejected, what the fuck ever it is, right? And you're reprogramming it with a new assumption that is actually favorable for you. So you need constant repetition. The repetition is how you reprogram the mind. And the more you do that is when at some point it'll sink into the subconscious and you'll start thinking it all on your own without having to focus and reaffirm this new story of you. So this is what you're doing. That's literally all you're doing. And the reason why it can feel like such a struggle in the beginning is because you're literally interrupting tens of thousands of thoughts. You're literally starting to interrupt your mind just going off wherever it wants to go and saying, no, this is what we're focusing on. This is what we're going to think. So this is what Neville talks about, like feeling natural. So it doesn't feel natural in the beginning stages of that because it isn't natural, because consciously you have to tell your subconscious, you're literally commanding your subconscious mind. You're telling your subconscious, no, this is who the fuck I am, and this is what is happening, and this is who this person is. This is the reality I'm choosing. We're not choosing that other one that we already experienced for fucking decades, okay? Done and over with. So the more you persist in that, it starts to sink into the subconscious. The subconscious starts to accept it as truth now. That's why it takes repetition. That's why it doesn't feel good in the beginning. That's why you don't believe it in the beginning, but we don't have to manifest, right? But at some point, it's going to sink in so much. And then when you're manifesting it into your reality consistently, that's when you'll start assuming that, yeah, that's who I am. This is my life now. But until we get to that point, you're reaffirming the assumption that you want to have. And it's a favorable one. You're reaffirming the story. You're reaffirming who you are and how people are showing up for you and what you want to manifest in your life through this process. So you're reprogramming a natural assumption that's not favorable and reprogramming it to become a natural assumption that is favorable. That's all you're doing. And the beauty of that is that, oh my gosh, you get to manifest that experience in your reality as well. So I wanted to kind of break that down and really talk a little bit more about it, because I think it's important, because a lot of people think like, oh, I'm just thinking these thoughts and then all this magic woo-woo stuff is happening. And I mean, listen, it's kind of fucking cool that we all have this power within us that we can actually create through our focus and intentions. I mean, absolutely, right? I'm not minimizing that at all, because it is so magical and amazing. But it's not like it's happening all the time. You know what I mean? Like all the time it's happening. And all you're doing is getting in front of it. You're saying that this is not acceptable for me anymore. You're commanding your subconscious mind and telling your subconscious mind, like, we're not doing this today, boo. Like, fuck you. This is what's happening. This is how it's going to be. And I'm going to persist in that story until I assume it. So you haven't assumed it yet. And this is a thing, and there's different ways to assume it, right? But you won't assume it until you've drilled it in your mind so much and it becomes who you are dominantly. And so this is what happens a lot when people are manifesting in SPs, is they've been reaffirming their self-concept, they're feeling good, right? The SP comes in, triggers them, your old programming kicks back up, right? So you have to constantly reaffirm, and remind your self-concept, remind you of what's happening, the version of you, etc. And then at some point, this is where people struggle. They're like, I've been affirming and I thought I was assuming it and I'm seeing something different. And it's like, well, in the beginning, this is a new state for you, right? You dominantly have not resided in this self-concept of valued, loved, cherished girlfriend, whatever, right? Boyfriend. You have not lived there long enough. So this is not who your dominant self is. So you're going to keep reaffirming until that becomes your dominant state, right? Your dominant state is still typically the old version, and you're sliding more through affirming the new state, the new reality where you have what you want and you're the version of you that has what they want, right? But until you've parked your car there, so to speak, and let it stay there over and over and over and over again, it's not your dominant state. So you haven't assumed it yet fully, because if you had assumed it fully, then it would be consistent and you wouldn't question it and you wouldn't have to keep reaffirming it. So you will get there. Everybody will get there. That's what the reprogramming is. Consciously choosing a new assumption that is favorable for you rather than not favorable. And your conscious mind is what commands your subconscious mind. So you're going to persist in reaffirming what it is that you want and how you see yourself, etc., until your subconscious mind accepts it. That's what you're doing, which is why I don't want to hear people whining like, oh, I'm tired of affirming. And well, too bad. Who gives a fuck? Keep affirming. Like, it's not going to kill you to fucking think certain things. You know, you just persist. It does get annoying sometimes, especially when you've done it for a minute and you think things are great and then something triggers you and you go right back into your old programming. Okay, pull yourself back out and do what you got to do. Your mind's always thinking constantly. Choose your thoughts. All right, so I hope this helped explain a little bit better. I will see you in the next video. Bye.